Netanyahu's private home has been targeted in a drone attack, according to reports that are coming out in the past couple of hours. I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage on this so that way you can see it for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Now do me a favor, when it starts playing, just drop a 5x5 if you can hear it and see it okay. I'm just going to play the video footage for you, and then we're going to be discussing it as there are more developments going on with the conflict in the Middle East. And also don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video footage.
Back with a Fox News alert. Israel striking Beirut just hours after an apparent assassination attempt on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The attempt on Netanyahu's life coming by way of a drone attack. Matt Finn joins us live from Tel Aviv this morning with more. Matt.
Good morning, Will. To the north of where I am right now in Tel Aviv, Israel says there was a drone strike launched at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's vacation home. Israel says the drone was launched from Lebanon into Caesarea. It did not hit Netanyahu's house. One Israeli official claims the drone strike was meant to eliminate Netanyahu. It was more than one of 100 drones launched from Lebanon into northern Israel today. Our Fox crew has seen some of them. Netanyahu released a video a short while ago responding to Israel's monumental elimination this week of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar.
2 days ago, we took out Yahya Sinwar, the terrorist mastermind whose goons beheaded our men, raped our women, burnt babies alive. We took him out, and we're continuing our battle with Iran's other terrorist proxies. We're going to win this war.
Now, check out this new drone video that shows the final moments of Sinwar's life this week. He's camouflaged amongst the rubble in the chair on the left. Sinwar was considered the de facto leader of Hamas, perhaps enemy number one of Israel, the mastermind of October 7th. His death has sparked speculation that perhaps Hamas will disarm. However, Hamas says Sinwar's death will not stop it, writing in part, yes, it's very painful and distressing to lose beloved people, especially extraordinary leaders like ours, but what we are sure of is that we are eventually victorious. So chilling words there. And just to kind of set the scene for you here in Israel, this was a holy week, Sukkot. Many people were not working, not on their electronics, meant to be meditating and praying. So you can only imagine that this monumental news of Sinwar's death was that much more welcome during an already somber week.
I do want to take you back to this breaking news as we are getting a first look at what appears to be an assassination attempt by Hezbollah on Israel's Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. Axios reporting that Netanyahu's home in the coastal town of Caesarea was hit by an explosive drone launched from Lebanon by the terror group just days after Israel killed Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. This photo right here, posted on social media by Dr. Eli David, a well-known researcher and lecturer. David says this is from one of Iran's official Telegram channels showing the direct hit on Netanyahu's home. Now, we are told that Netanyahu and his wife were not there at the time. He does say that they are taking pride in that attempt, and they asked if the Iran Supreme Leader does have similar bulletproof windows. Mark Chandler is the Director of Government Relations and Professor of Practice at Coastal Carolina University, also a former senior defense intelligence official. Joining us now live to talk more about this. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to be here with us today.
You're welcome, Josh, and good morning.
Good morning. Well, first off, I do want to get your take here on this assassination attempt. We did see the photos there coming in from Dr. Eli David, and they show the home was actually hit directly. So what are your overall thoughts as you start to get this information and see those photos?
Well, this is a significant move by Hezbollah. When we look at this, and obviously Iran was behind this push to get Hezbollah to attempt this assassination, to do this assassination attempt. Actually, the one that hit was one of three that Hezbollah launched against Netanyahu's home earlier this morning to go after him. And so what I think you're seeing is an escalation, probably twofold. We're talking a little bit about Nasrallah, but we're also talking about response to Sinwar's killing earlier this week that Israel was fortunate enough to be able to take care of Sinwar. This is an escalation. And so when I look at this and I go to see really what Hezbollah has been doing all week, Israel's going to have to respond to this. This is not the first time that Iran or Hezbollah has gone out there and plotted an assassination attempt against Netanyahu himself or senior Israeli leadership since the start of the Hamas war.
And I was going to ask, how common are these assassination attempts against Netanyahu? We know that they do have enemies there. This is probably not the first time this has happened.
No, if we go back over the last 12 months, I think this is about the third direct assassination attempt or plot against Netanyahu and his the other leaders of the Israeli war cabinet, if you will. So looking at this one, this actually, if Netanyahu had been at home, would have been close to a successful attempt, a direct attack. The others were interrupted in the final planning stages. Mossad and Shin Bet both interrupted some of those plots where they had actually Israeli citizens compromised, one through Turkey and one inside Israel, that were plotting to help Iran and Hezbollah assassinate Netanyahu himself. So it's not uncommon. It's a little bit disconcerting that they were able to get this far along in the plot this time and the attempt.
And it appears that we are seeing more and more of these drones and projectiles that are actually making their way into Israel. This morning, we heard from the IDF, and they said over essentially a 24-hour period, there were about 180 projectiles, not just fired by Hezbollah, but that actually made their way from Lebanon into Israeli territory. So it seems like the attacks are being stepped up even further, especially after the death of Sinwar.
Yeah, I believe you're right there, Josh. And when we look at this week, Hezbollah has been attacking northern Israel and as far down as southern Israel all week long. Early in the week, I believe it was Sunday, Monday, Israel suffered the worst attack on Israel from Hezbollah since the start of this fighting back in last October. And when I say that, 4 Israeli soldiers were killed, 60 wounded in an attack on an Israeli military base in central Israel earlier this week. And so looking at that aspect, and then we start to see how this is playing out, we're going to see more of these attacks. And the point here is that we can see Hezbollah having more success with the UAVs, these drones. It's hard for Israel to defend against those. The Iron Dome and the defenses don't work as well against some of those drones that Hezbollah and Iran are using. So we're going to see more of those successful attacks from that until Israel can solve that problem. Or we're going to see overwhelming missile and rocket fire coming out of southern Lebanon.
And this is actually a post here coming in from Elan Levy. He is the Israeli government spokesperson and says it looks like Hezbollah might have tried to assassinate Netanyahu. An Iranian drone from Lebanon hit a building there, and the prime minister's office did confirm that his private residence was the target. They were not home at the time. Now, I do know that Netanyahu does have several different residences there in Israel. We've seen some protests that have taken place outside of one of his residences. Any idea why Hezbollah would have targeted this one specifically? Again, a lot of this information is still coming in, so I'm sure that answer isn't necessarily known, but I wanted to get your take on that.
Well, I would look at this. I think this is more of Netanyahu's traditional home, where he basically is from this area of Israel. So I think looking at that, targeting this, one, hoping that he would be there. It probably wasn't likely that he would be there at this time, but hoping that he would be there. But this sends a message. We know where you are, Netanyahu. We know that we can attack your house. And so nowhere is really safe for you, especially if I'm going to go after, this house where your family should be located. I think that's a strong message from Hezbollah. And I think you're going to have to see Israel respond to that in a strong manner later today, most likely, because Israel does take these attacks seriously, and they try to counterattack quickly when they know the origin from, say, where they launched these UAVs or drones.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay. Drop a 5x5 if I switch the mics over correctly. But we're hearing that this morning, the breaking news coming out, Benjamin Netanyahu targeted an assassination attempt as there was a drone strike that hit his home, explosive drone strike that hit. And we're hearing that he and his wife were not home. They survived. They are okay. And The reports are coming out, though, that this is a message that's being sent from Hezbollah to Israel, and they're saying Israel must respond to this. Now, this comes as we are still awaiting the response from Israel from the attack on October 1st from Iran, with 181 ballistic missiles fired. And we're hearing that that is going to be coming here soon. We've heard confirmation from Israel to the United States that they're going to be attacking military assets, is their current stance. Now, in addition to that, take a look at this. Coming out yesterday, October the 18th, Israel reportedly asks the United States to send a second Thaad battery before expected Iranian attack. So Israel is in preparation for that retaliatory attack, and they're anticipating that Iran will be striking back. As we have heard them say, they will be hitting them, and Iran has already said that they will be responding to that as well. IDF says 1,500 Hezbollah operatives have been assassinated. White House says no hostage talks scheduled. 5 troops seriously hurt in Lebanon and Gaza. IDF intercepted 3 rockets fired at Haifa Bay area. So it is escalating, you guys, and this is the breaking news that is coming out here, that things are increasing. We're anticipating seeing things go into some serious retaliatory attacks, and the news that was coming out was that this was going to be happening before the U.S. elections. So Israel saying anticipate there will be retaliations. Now, in addition to that, we had heard that there were holdups. There were Jewish holidays, celebrations, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. They had met with the U.S., had discussions, Benjamin Netanyahu and Joe Biden. Then we had heard that the Israeli cabinet had met, and they have come to an agreement on the retaliations that would unfold. The rumors were that there were 3 potential retaliations that would take place. One was potentially against nuclear facilities, one was against oil refineries, the other one was against military assets. We heard Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for Israel come out and say that one thing is for sure, it will be a strong attack, it'll be precise, and it will shock the world, and that Iran won't know what hit them. Now, that has spun Iran into a state of anxiety as they are preparing and anticipating what's coming. Israel is saying that there will be attacks that will be coming. They will be responding to what is unfolding. And we've also heard Iran say they will be holding the United States accountable as well. As we are the allies of Israel, we're supplying support to Israel, and Iran is saying that they will hold the U.S. and Israel accountable for this, along with any other nations that support Israel. We have also heard that the United States, in an effort to try to de-escalate the situation, actually offered Israel a compensation package. I reported this to you, and they said, hey, we will actually provide you with additional military assets, provide you with additional diplomacy support, and all of these things if you do not hit A, B, and C in Iran, and if you do not retaliate. Israel saying thank you for that gesture. However, there will be a retaliation. We will be hitting back. And Israel also coming out and saying that they were very upset when the United States put an ultimatum on them recently and said, if you do not support the humanitarian aid going into Gaza and improve that situation, we're going to cut you off. Israel very upset with that. We heard from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a lot of people concerned about the state of the alliance of Israel and the United States after that. Israel saying, we will take the advice of the United States. However, in the end, we will make the decision, not the United States, about how we will respond and protect the sovereignty and the people of Israel. But Israel, after that, within 48 hours, we're hearing, came out and said they are going to be sending in 50 trucks that day to help with the humanitarian aid getting into the people of Gaza. So Israel saying, although we're not happy about it, we will comply with the United States' request to make sure that we maintain that alliance, that peace with the United States. So Israel is doing that, yet they're also saying we will be striking. And as I mentioned, the United States also sending over those Thaad battery defense systems for the retaliation we're hearing that is going to be coming from Iran. And they're requesting a second one as well. So Israel is preparing, as we're hearing them say, the retaliations are coming. There is going to be a strong attack that is going to be coming against Iran. And there's a lot of concern that this could lead into potentially a regional conflict, and some even saying World War III, a global conflict. And I saw somebody else in the comments as soon as I was starting up asking about what's going on with the conflict in Russia and Ukraine as things are intensifying there. And yes, if you missed the video yesterday, We're hearing that things are intensifying with the discussions of nuclear war, as yesterday, Volodymyr Zelensky, we heard, had received a no from NATO. About 2 days ago, we had heard that he had come out and said there's only two options for Ukraine. Either we join the alliance of NATO, or we need to seek out nuclear weapons to defend ourselves. And we heard that NATO is coming out and saying that his victory plan that he presented, it falls short of what they have confidence in. So as a result, it does not look like anytime soon there's going to be an alliance with them in NATO. So Ukraine, we're hearing, is thinking about going the route of creating nuclear weapons. And if you think that this is far-fetched or not something serious, that is not the response that we got from Russian President Vladimir Putin, who came out yesterday, Friday, October the 18th, and said, under no circumstance can we allow Ukraine to get their hands on nuclear weapons. He said this is very simple for them. Back in 1991, they were the third largest nuclear power on Earth. 1994, they handed over their nuclear weapons in a show of good faith and goodwill for a promise of support from the U.S. and Russia that they would be under a state of peace and not be threatened by nuclear weapons. Now we're hearing Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky saying Russia has broken that promise, and as a result, we're going to seek nuclear weapons. We have the technology to do it. We can build it in just a couple weeks. That is exactly what we heard vocalized from Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday, who seemed very concerned with this new update and said within just a matter of weeks, Ukraine could have a nuclear weapon. They have the potential. So nuclear weaponry now is on the table for Ukraine and Russia, and Ukraine is saying that they are getting this ready. Russia very concerned, and why is that? Because we are hearing that Ukraine is now becoming desperate, and we now then potentially could have a desperate nation with nuclear weapons on their hands that could strike Russia. So Russia saying under no circumstances will they allow Ukraine to do this, and they will take whatever means necessary to stop Ukraine from having nuclear weapons. So we have that conflict right now that is increasing, intensifying, and simultaneously we have right around the corner here a retaliatory strike that's going to be coming from Israel upon Iran as they are wiping out. Israel is wiping out left and right their various proxy groups that are attacking them, that are funded, backed, and created by, supported by Iran. So we're hearing that Israel is going for what they're calling the head of the snake by directly going for Iran. And the United States is in the middle of both of these conflicts. This is a major concern to the United States, what unfolds in the Middle East, as we are allies with Israel. We're going to be seeing what unfolds here. And we just had this assassination attack happen in just the past couple of hours against Benjamin Netanyahu on his own personal home with those drone strikes. He was not home, but they're saying this is delivering a message. We can hit you. We know where you live. Simultaneously, we have the conflict with Russia and Ukraine escalating. A lot of people were saying that this war was going to be coming to an end here, that we were seeing the potential of an agreement. Now we're hearing no. Actually, the opposite. Volodymyr Zelensky is getting desperate, and he is seeking out nuclear weapons if he cannot get his country, Ukraine, to become a part of NATO. Now, we have that going on, and simultaneously, if you missed the videos, we're also hearing North Korea and South Korea. They have cut off their roads. They have exploded the roads that connect the two nations, and there is some major conflict that is taking place between the two, rhetoric of potential war, as North Korea is saying South Korea has dropped propaganda leaflets all over North Korea. North Korea sending over bags of trash, dumping it all over South Korea. And South Korea is saying, we did not send over drones dropping leaflets. They're saying this is a false flag. This is a lie by North Korea to initiate a conflict between the two. And simultaneously, we have China and Taiwan. China, just recently in the past week, we're hearing doing war drills, literally circling around with ships and warplanes and jets around Taiwan, escalating tensions. And all of these, the United States in the middle of. The United States allies with Israel, allies with Ukraine, allies with Taiwan, and allies with South Korea. So right now we have various conflicts. The United States is in the middle of all of these. And like I said, a lot of people saying that very soon here, any of these could escalate to the point of a global conflict. and World War III is being vocalized left and right. So we will see, as now we've seen this new escalation coming out with this drone strike on the home of Benjamin Netanyahu. We're hearing he's okay. He was not home at the time, him or his family, so they're okay. But they're saying, delivering a message. We know where you live, and we also have the capability of hitting you if we'd like to. So things are definitely ramping up. Somebody's asking, they missed? Yes, they did miss. But it was an attempt on the life of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. It's the end of the world as we know it, says Righteous for Jesus. China is blackmailing our South African government regarding Taiwan. Tree of Life Decoded book. A lot of people dropping in some various thoughts and comments. Now, while you're doing that, do me a favor. If you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything that's going on, don't forget, take a quick second, hit that like button for me. I see we've had 2,000 people almost in the room, 740 likes. 60 more likes would get us to 800. That would be awesome. Just help spread this out further. Also, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. I'll keep you up to speed on everything. And once you subscribe, don't forget to click that notification bell, set it to all so you're notified as soon as the breaking news live updates come out. I'll make sure that you stay up to speed on everything. And I see Peg saying, hit that like button, spread the message, help out Steve. Thank you for that, Peg. I appreciate that. Like I said, I will keep you guys up to date. And we are hearing that before elections, there's going to be some serious escalations in the Middle East. Israel said that there will be a retaliatory strike that will not interfere with elections. And elections are, I think, 2.5, 3 weeks away. So very soon here, we're going to be seeing some retaliation taking place. Meredith, aka TC, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. I will keep you guys up to date on everything that unfolds, and we're going to be seeing Iran has said as well that they're going to be retaliating here soon. Regardless of what unfolds, you guys, I will keep you up to date. MC Check's official page says, you the man, Steve. Everyone hit that like button. Thank you for the support, and also thank you for hitting that join button, becoming a member of the channel. As a result, after this live stream, all of the sources that I'm referencing, which actually is only one on this one because there's just live video footage. I shared with you guys the video footage. You will see that in your feed. Thank you for all the support. I'll continue to keep you guys up to date here on the channel. And also, you saw that this might have been a response as well to the assassination of Yahya Sinwar, the head of the Hamas group. We just saw him recently assassinated as well, as he took the place of Hania, who was assassinated several months ago as well. So Israel going through one by one, wiping out these various proxy groups that are terrorizing them, taking out entire chains of command, and we're also hearing going for what they're calling the head of the snake, which is Iran as well. And we're hearing the different opinions on this from the two administrations that are currently coming up for the elections. The Biden administration, the Harris administration saying ceasefire now, de-escalate the situation. Let's go ahead and see if we can come up with some form of peace to stop the conflict. The Trump administration saying this is not only a threat to Israel, but to the United States. Iran shouts death to Israel and death to the U.S. And Trump saying, let Israel strike nuclear facilities. It is an existential threat, not only to them, but to us. And let's go ahead and address these threats that are coming out. Let me know your thoughts and the two different stances on this. Who do you agree with, Trump or with Biden and Harris? If you agree with Trump, drop a 45. If you agree with Harris and Biden, drop a 46. But we're hearing very different stances on this, as we're hearing that Trump is saying, why not just let Israel address the issue, attack, wipe them out? So we will see, though. I will continue to keep you up to date. Elections are right around the corner, and we're hearing that there will be retaliatory strikes that will be coming here very, very soon. And whatever unfolds, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. And I see those 45s pouring in, people saying yes, address Iran, attack, wipe out the threat. Why not hit those nuclear facilities? Let's go ahead and hit them up so that way this can be not only something that is addressed for Israel, but also the United States, as their nuclear capabilities, as they shout death to America and death to Israel. These are existential threats against us. let's go ahead and have it addressed. I see those 45s pouring in, you guys. Also, do me a favor. If I get 17 more likes, we'd have 1,000 likes while we're live. Just help spread this out further. I would appreciate it. And again, I'll keep you guys up to speed on everything here on the channel. As we are hearing that there was just a little while ago, a couple hours ago maybe, an assassination attempt against Benjamin Netanyahu, who we are hearing him and his wife were not home. There was a drone strike against their private home. They are safe and well. They were not harmed in that. And Israel is saying that there will be responses and retaliatory strikes for what has unfolded. And there's a lot of conflict going on around the world right now. And I will keep you up to speed on all of it so you know exactly what is taking place here on the channel. And I will also make sure that you guys know what's going on as all of these conflicts, the United States has their hands in all of them and are supporting their allies. I will keep you up to speed here on the channel. Jimmy the Kid says, I vote Jesus 2024. Yes, and I know there's a lot of believers here on the channel. Make sure that you are praying for our world with everything that is going on. And I'll do my best to make sure that you guys are up to speed on everything. But that is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. Hit that like button. Subscribe. This is Steve.